You're looking at the smiling face of Lawrence P. Goldman. He's NJPAC's president and CEO, and Larry, since the beginning, right?
Yes, in June I will have been doing this for 20 years.
20?
Yes.
That's a long time.
It's been a long time, but it's been such a great ride. I love it.
All right, so let's talk about that then. Let's talk about the great ride. You're in your second decade now, I know, at NJPAC. What was the first decade like? A couple quick highlights, if you would.
Well, the first decade was when we were designing and building the Art Center and trying to persuade people that a world-class art center in New Jersey's biggest city, Newark, was feasible. And there were some very, very deep, enthusiastic believers at the beginning. But let me tell you, Jeff, there are also some skeptics.
Who were the believers?
Well, people like Governor Kane, who conceived the idea of an art center, Ray Chambers, who was the founding chairman, Mort Pi, who was then editor of the Star-Ledger, had this in his very blood. He couldn't wait to have an art center in Newark.
What did he do for you, Larry? How did he support the art center in a very special way?
Well, you know, he believed us. Sounds funny to say that, but he believed us when we said this was something we could do. So when, for example, we selected an architect, maybe not a big deal to most people, to the Star-Ledger and Mort Pi in those days, it was a huge deal, particularly because we were determined, you know, not to have trade barriers. We really searched the world for the best possible architect to do this project. And I think Mort respected that. He saw that we weren't going to be a little neighborhood theater.
Sure turned out that way, didn't it? You're definitely not a little neighborhood theater. How many shows have I been to, or I should say performances, as we like to refer to it. So we talked about the first 10 years. Let's talk about what's on the horizon for the next 10 and further. But I guess we'll stick with the next 10.
Well, we are kind of at a watershed moment. We've been more successful over 10 years than even I could have imagined, and you know, I thought from day one that this was going to be successful. But it's a changing world. It's an increasingly electronic world. The live performing arts are not exactly the priority of a lot of people, particularly young people. So we're trying to find ways to keep NJPAC fresh and relevant and in the front lobe of everyone's mind. And I think, my own personal view of where not just NJPAC but other art centers like NJPAC must go, is to be bigger than what's on our stages. We really have to be New Jersey's center. And we have kind of summed that up by saying New Jersey's town square, a place where people can come and break away from their computers and iPods and text messaging and Facebook and actually do what we're doing right now, which is having a real live conversation.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit more, because I do know, and I've known for years, that NJPAC's mission is really community-centered, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's a complex mission, Jeff. We certainly want to put the best artists in the world on our stages and bring them to New Jersey, and I think we've done that. That's undeniable. But all art centers do that around the country. I think what makes us different is that we try so hard to be deeply community-rooted, so it's everyone's art center. You saw earlier in the program about the kids. They think it's their art center. You know, we have 80,000 children a year to NJPAC, and we have yet, knock on wood, to experience our first stroke of graffiti. Why is that? It is because these kids have come to see this as their place. Similarly, the broader Newark and inner suburb of Newark community, at our Thursday night Sounds of the City in the summer, I know you've been there.
Many a time.
If it's a nice night, free music,
yes, sir.
Beer, burgers, barbecue. We get maybe 2,000 to 3,000 people on Theater Square. It's really New Jersey's town square. But these are people who have embraced the Art Center in a very special way. They may not buy $100 tickets to the Boston Symphony, but they really give a damn about the place.
Well, I know that firsthand, as you know. And in the remaining time that's left, I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the economy, its impact on the arts, the impact on the Art Center, and what you're doing to sort of shore that up a little bit and continue to provide the services that you folks do so well, really, Larry.
Well, we obviously operate in the same environment as corporations and universities operate, and the economy now is quite bad. What this will mean for NJPAC is yet to come into full focus. For example, our ticket sales this spring are way, way up.
Fabulous.
It's hard to know what this means. Perhaps people are not going to New York, they're staying closer to home. Perhaps it means that people need to sort of get away from the exigencies and problems of everyday economic life and lose themselves in the performing arts.
All right, I'm going to ask you about one more. We're going to jump around because not much time is left.
Jump ahead.
I'm going to jump. 2 Center Street. What is it, and what's it going to mean to the city of Newark, please?
Well, NJPAC was always meant to be a great arts center, but it was also meant to be an engine for the redevelopment of Newark's downtown. We have much more land than the Arts Center itself requires, and it is our determination to develop these sites in partnership with private developers in a way that gives Newark what, in my view, Newark most needs right now, which is a middle-class population living, shopping, eating, occupying Theater Square. Let's get people on the street, and the way to do that is to build fabulous apartments.
Larry, I wish we had more time. This is fascinating. I want to thank you so much for being with us, and please come back for a whole show.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you so much. Well, that's about it for another edition of Carpe Diem. Now, to find out more about NJPAC or to purchase tickets for upcoming performances, you can visit their website at njpac.org. That's njpac.org. Or why don't you give them a call at the box office, 1-888-GO-NJPAC. And for more information about Carpe Diem, you can write to us at carpediem@mail.montclair.edu. So, for Larry Londino, Patty Pirro, and all of us at Carpe Diem, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.